amazing friends, and welcome to today's meditation practice. Told you we were going to be running these daily. That pretty much means every day. Yesterday I might change the time around a little bit, yesterday, that's tomorrow. Thank you guys for chiming in or chiming in this morning. Today's practice is going to be about 15 to 20 minutes long. Going to be kind of broken up into a couple of different segments or sections, if you will. And just if you come on and you're going to be here, you're like, you know what? I'd like to learn something cool about my mind and about meditation today. Just like say hi and say, yeah, I'm going to be here. And if you're not, that's cool too. If you're just going to pop in for a couple seconds, then that's amazing. But if you're going to stay, just say hi. Say, hey, yeah, I'm here. And I'll be on. Today, we're specifically talking about eye placement, these eyes, and what's happening, not only just in our meditations, but what's happening around the world and how we've kind of been educated to learn. If you guys have noticed, if you've watched any kind of, hi Jamie from Facebook, thanks for chiming in. Have you noticed that maybe over the last couple of years when you watch news, that there's a big border that goes around? I'll try to move this. Instagram guys, your screens are much smaller. There's a big border that sits around the screen, the guy talking, and it has things that are moving all the time. Well, there's a science that's affectionately named biology, and not the biology of the body. It's buy, B-U-Y. How do I get people to buy things? And they found that your eyes need to constantly be rotating and moving in order for you, the person, the watcher, the listener, to not only link the meanings of things, but so that you're entertained, so that you stay on. You see a Coca-Cola sign or you see this sign, the stock symbols, but we're watching the news. It's not to give you more information. It's to keep you ingrained in whatever they are that's showing you. Which there are things about that that's really cool. Like right now, this morning, here a little bit later today, I'm cutting the pilot show or the pilot for the podcast, which is Earthotarian. And we'll go into that a little bit later. But in that show, it's a video and audio podcast, and there's a lot of communications that's happening. So I want to do all the amazing things that are in there to keep somebody entertained. But what happens when your mind doesn't stop? What happens when it feels like you close your eyes and they're just bouncing all over the place and you're unable to concentrate? This is a big problem. So although there are good things about rapid eye movements all the time, there's also a good and strong place for you to learn how to center your eyes so that when you want to focus on something, when you want to bring it in here, you can. Like as a general conversation, as a question, how many times, oops, wrong arm, have you looked at this little red light back here? I left it on for a reason. And have you noticed it? And have you shifted your eyes from me to the red light? This can be a problem, right? This is not what we fully intend with our own intention. So today we're going to do two things. We're going to run two small little couple minute practices. And the first is just, it's silent, it's on our own. What we're going to do is we're going to just take our eyes, our attention when we close them, don't close them yet. And you're just going to put your attention here to that little spot in your forehead. We're only going to run for about 3 minutes. That's it. And I just want you to, once we start to breathe and get into it, I'd like you to just focus on that spot and see if you can keep your attention there. The longer you can, the more amazing that it can become. So we're just going to start off closing our eyes, getting into your most comfortable position, whether that's seated, lying down, on the floor like me, on the couch, on a stool, wherever it is that's comfortable. I guess I have to say that, I guess I don't have to say it, but I hope you're not driving and participating. If you are, leave your eyes open. I meditate eyes open all the time. Okay, cool. So keeping that little spot or your spot right in there between the eyebrows, taking a deep exhale, just breathing it all the way out. Breathing in. Filling the lungs from the diaphragm up into the lungs all the way to the top, holding slightly and exhale. Breathing in again. Opening your chest, pushing it out forward, pulling your shoulder blades back, allowing all of that oxygen to just fill into the lungs and keeping your attention on that little spot. And exhale. Breathing in again. Holding at the top a little bit longer and just imagining all of those people that are on here with us right now live as we stream this. And giving thanks to all, including yourself, for being here as we exhale. One more as a group. Filling the lungs and out. For the next couple of minutes, just breathe. Not paying attention to anything else that's around you. Practicing at your own breath, at your own pace. And trying to keep your attention in this little spot. Bringing your awareness and your attention back here, back into your body, opening back up your eyes. And just noticing, how difficult was it, if at all, to keep your eyes and your attention into this space? And did it want to float, move around, swing? Was it just great? Throughout any of this, and as we go throughout and we complete out, should you have any questions, ask. Okay, one more practice in here, and that's this. We're now going to still hold that attention, hold that spot, that little place right in between our eyes. And this time, though, I want you to imagine a clock that's sitting out in front of your face about 6 to 8 inches, and one with the dials, right? And I'd like you to hold the dials, the hands, and I'd like you to bring both clock hands up to 12 o'clock. And that's it. We're going to hold this for only a couple minutes, maybe 2. But I want you to try to keep your eyes centered at 12. And once we're complete with this, we'll understand, or I'll explain why all of this is so critically important for your own psyche, for your own growth. So, holding again that little spot, imagining that clock out in front of your face about 12 inches, or 6 to 12 inches at 12 o'clock. Using the best parts of your imagination to hold that. Close that up. Keep it at 12. And breathe. Take a nice deep breath in. Just for a moment, checking in with yourself first. How do you feel from this? I'd like you to pay attention to where the clock hands moved while you were holding that 12 o'clock. Every clock, every position, which we're not going to discuss every section right now, but every section has a part of the psychology, part of your psyche, part of who you are. So you might have been flowing towards money constantly. You might have been flowing towards a relationship, maybe a health problem. Whatever the mind is used to doing during the day while you have conversations with people, every couple of seconds, if not multiple times per second, your mind, which we would call it the untrained mind, and that just means because we haven't trained it, right? We were doing training just now. it will move constantly and check in because it wants to know, are the same problems that you had a couple minutes ago the same problems that you have now? And technically it's not all around problems, but that's what it's doing. It's like, hey, where is my reality and is everything fitting? But when you're in a growth cycle or when you want to just be free of all of that, it's important to be able to hold 12, because once you start to hold 12 o'clock more consistently throughout the day, those problems or those little inconsistencies or those subconscious programmings, whichever you would like to call it, they are pulling up and they are pulling you in different directions all day long until you get anxiety or perhaps you want to sedate or whatever the thing is for you. All of these things are happening. But when you can come back to 12 and we can stay at 12, the other ones start to loosen their grips. It's a little bit like melting ice. When you can melt the ice, those little things that were stuck in the ice, right? It gets a little softer. So when we can hold 12, when we can stop, the other things just start falling away. You'll find that layered throughout all of these classes, these meditations that we do on a daily basis here, we're layering in multiple modalities of meditation. We're laying in multiple modalities of science. We're laying in body and physiology, personal development, if you like that word. I don't technically use personal development unless I'm trying to explain it something, because if I need to develop something, that means something's broken, and I would just rather continue growing. But modalities from there, spirituality, the religions, like the old base religions that had a lot of these core concepts in it. These are their secret sciences, if you will. They're layered throughout all of these. And so as we continue to move throughout our practice and continue to grow, it's not just about the meditation moments that we spend a few minutes a day, that helps, but it's around the rest of the day. We don't meditate to just meditate. Sometimes we meditate to feel bliss. Most of the time we're meditating so that we can continue to go through life in the most impactful ways with as little drag. Those are those little hooks in you. With as little drag as possible so that you can be whoever you want to be, do what you want to do without the little subconscious or the cues, the body cues or whatever, without them all just reaching out for you and holding you back. So these are these practices. So I hope that you'll tune in with me continually every day. I'm just going to keep going these every day. We've done hundreds of these on other platforms, but for the first time, I'm opening them up for all platforms. All platforms that will allow me to stream. And really promote this well-beingness, which is all modalities. It's not a singular one. We might learn chanting one day. Today, 0-point meditation is what that would be called. Tomorrow in particular, I'm going to try a new time. I'm going to do 2 hours later. This morning we started at 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time in the US. Not sure where you're coming from. Tomorrow I'm going to run one at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow's meditation is one of my favorites. It's also one of the most impactful tools that I've used in multiple different practices, whether they were, again, some kind of spiritual training, some kind of personal development training, some kind of subconscious reprogramming training, whatever that was. This is like it. Now, the coolest thing about recording these on other platforms is if you can't make it live, please check back in and make a comment. Hop in the mix. If there's something that you want to learn or something that you're not understanding, please message. Allow me to have the opportunity to respond and help you sink deeper into your practices. So tomorrow's super epic. If you can make it, it is epic. And again, that will be at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I'll throw up an invitation, an event invitation, so that people can see it and hop onto it. But yes, please be on. And if you have any questions, again, message here in any of the chats. And hi to Anastasia. Thanks for dropping in. We're just finishing our practice 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago is when we started. So tomorrow, we're going to start 2 hours later. You might be asleep. I can't remember what time it is in Kiev. It's epic. Just make sure to hop on. Okay, I appreciate you guys. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon.